Devaya. Om Namo Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy, text number 13 onwards. Punsamato vivid karma bhirdvaradrer dhanin cha vrita tapsa paricharyaya cha aradhanam bhagavatastav satkriyartho dharmo arpitah karichid mriyate nayatra. But the pious activities of the people, such as performance of Vedic rituals, charity, austere penances, and transcendental service, performed with the view to worship you and satisfy you by offering you the fruitive results, are also beneficial. Such acts of religion never go in vain. So, previous verse, Brahmaji was saying that you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hankerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as a super soul just to show your causeless mercy. And you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee. So now Brahmaji is saying, but the pious activities, because people do lots of pious activities, karma activities, to please the demigods. Brahma is saying such acts of religion never go in vain. And they try to satisfy you by offering you the fruitive results. Idea is something is better than nothing. Even Bhagavatam itself said earlier, Akama sarva kama va moksha kamudarti. If somebody is akama, means without any material desires, sarva kama, full of material desires, and moksha kama means desirous of liberation. No material desires, but desirous of liberation. They should all worship you. Udardi means the intelligent are those who worship you, still worship you, even if they have all the material desires. Absolute devotional service conducted in 9 different spiritual activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, etc., does not always appeal to people with a pompous nature. They are more attracted by the Vedic superficial rituals and other costly performances of social, religious shows. But the process, according to the Vedic injunctions, is that the fruits of all pious activities should be offered to the Supreme Lord. So people are more attracted towards Vedic spiritual superficial rituals rather than just plain simple hearing and chanting and remembering Navda Bhakti. Because mostly people have in their mind that I want to do some ritualistic activities so I get some material benefits and so that I can enjoy here in the material world. And that is why, even if we look at the Vedic texts, 96% of the Vedic text cover the Karmakanda activities only. Because people are like that. This is what people want. So idea was to slowly, gradually make them understand. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord demands that whatever one may do in one's daily activities, such as worship, sacrifice, and offering charity, all the results should be offered to Him only. This offering of results of pious acts unto the Supreme Lord is a sign of devotional service to the Lord and is of permanent value. Whereas enjoying the same result for oneself is only temporary. So Krishna does say 9:27, chapter 9:27, the verse of Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, whatever offering you make, whatever charity, whatever austerity you do, whatever you eat, just make an offering to me. So idea is slowly, slowly, slowly by making that offering to Krishna, even without proper consciousness or devotion service, then it becomes a pious activity. But slowly, 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 when one keeps on doing the pious activity, slowly, 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 his mind will come towards devotion service. So that's why when people go to temples, any temple you go, demigod temple also fine, no problem. Just go. Because at least by going there, one comes to the level of that there is some superior authority above me. Who is that authority? I don't know. Maybe it is Shivji, maybe it's Ganeshji, maybe Hanumanji, maybe Durga Mata, maybe Shanidev, maybe whoever. Or maybe they all are same and they are different forms, whatever they believe in. So slowly, slowly, they will. Everybody does slowly. Even in fact, we look at our lives. It's not that from our birth we were engaged in devotion service. So similarly, others they take their time, but slowly, slowly, they will come. Only thing is, we have to keep on doing our services properly towards them, preaching or somehow engaging them, somehow encouraging them, whichever way. Just like Prabhupada, once in Calcutta, one race car driver came to meet Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was sitting there in his room and talking to this race car driver, and all for like half an hour, Prabhupada was just talking about the race cars. How fast do you go, and this and that? So many things. That Prabhupada's disciples who were sitting in that room, they started to leave thinking, what is Prabhupada talking about race cars to this guy? What about pure devotion service or this or that? So few disciples remained there. And after talking to this person for a while, then Prabhupada asked him, so do you get scared sometimes when you are in the car and driving so fast? And then the person said, yes, Swamiji, I do get scared. And then that was it. And then Prabhupada caught him there, and then Prabhupada gave him the whole philosophy. So it's not like Prabhupada was enticing him, but Prabhupada was really interested in hearing what he has to say. But at the right moment, Prabhupada introduced the full philosophy. Not from the very beginning, because if he had done from the very beginning, the person would have left in 2 minutes. But he understood that Prabhupada is genuinely interested in listening about race cars. So, time, place, circumstance, we have to see what kind of audience is that. At other places in America, Prabhupada, sometimes he would just blurt out, you fools and rascals, even to the newcomers or even to the professors. So obviously we cannot imitate Prabhupada, but at the same time we have to understand preaching is very delicate issue. It's not that easy. So somehow or other, if not preaching, we have to at least make the person a well-wisher, a friend of the moment. So even if somebody is doing Karmkanda activities, all we ask is do not stop your activities. All we ask is add Krishna to your activities. That's all. Whatever you're doing is fine. Just add Krishna somehow. Just 1 minute to Krishna, 5 minutes to Krishna, that's all. Slowly, 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 Krishna will take over. Don't worry. Anything done on the account of the Lord is permanent asset and accumulates in the form of unseen piety. for gradual promotion to the unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. See, what is this? Unseen piety, that is Agyat Sukriti, for gradual promotion. And if we think just because we are chanting, we have become pure devotees, or we are performing pure devotional, unalloyed devotional service to the Lord, then we are in uh, what to say, biggest dilemma, or not dilemma, not even dilemma. It's a biggest cloud, we can say. We are not performing unalloyed pure devotion service. We have so many desires in our heart. We are not actively asking for fulfilling of those desires. We are not going to the temple or demigods, but still we have plenty of material desires. So even if we are not actively or openly or explicitly asking for those desires to be fulfilled, but in the heart they are there. They're not gone out yet. Krishna knows they are in the heart. So we are not performing pure, unalloyed devotion service. We are trying to perform. At least the people who are worshipping demigods, they know they are what they are doing. So at least they are more honest. So that's why we cannot judge others. All we can do is try to serve. That's all. These undetected pious activities will one day result in full-fledged devotional service by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, any pious act done on account of the Supreme Lord is also recommended here for those who are not pure devotees. So anything done for the Lord, great, good. So somehow or other, we have to engage people. Text 14. Shashvat Sarupam Asaiva Nipita Bhedam Mohaya Bodhadhishnaya Namaha Parasmaye Vishwodbhavasthiti Taleshu Nimittalila Rasayate Nama Idam Chakrameshwaraya. Let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His indistinguishable impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him who, by his pastimes, enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. The Supreme Lord is eternally distinguished from the living entities by his internal potency, although he is also understood in his impersonal feature by self-realized intelligence. Devotees of the Lord therefore offer all respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. The word rasa is significant here. The devotees of the Lord offer all respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature or Brahmjyoti feature of the Lord. They are not averse to it, because it's just like once I was listening to a lecture and Maharaj explained very nicely that if in a family there is a dog, and the owner of the family, he goes out for work and he comes back in maybe a suit or tie, or next day he comes back in maybe pajama kurta, and next day maybe he comes back in shorts and t-shirt, next day he comes back in some other kind of clothes. But the dog will still recognize him, and dog will treat him the same way, with same love. So similarly, a dog of the Lord, or the servant of the Lord, for us, we should see the Lord in his Bhagwan feature, in his Paramatma feature, and his Brahmjyoti feature. Of course, there is a relationship with the Bhagwan feature. There cannot be relationship with the Brahmjyoti, but or impersonal feature, but we cannot disrespect or neglect it. The devotees of the Lord offer all respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. The word Ras is significant here. In the Ras dance is performed by Lord Krishna in the company of the cowherd damsels at Vrindavan. And the personality of God at Garbhodaksha Vishnu is also engaged in rasa enjoyment with this external potency, by which he creates, maintains, and dissolves the entire material manifestation. See, the ras for Krishna, the ras is doing dancing in the company of cowherd damsels at Vrindavan. And Garbhodaksha Vishnu is also engaged in rasa enjoyment. He gets the same enjoyment with this external potency by which he creates, maintains, and dissolves the entire material manifestation. Why? Because it's all for the service of Krishna. And this is his service, or this is his duty, and he's doing it. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is doing it. Indirectly, Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Shri Krishna, who's factually ever engaged in rasa enjoyment with the gopis, as confirmed in Gopal Tapani Upanishad in the following words. The distinction between the Lord and the living entities is definitely experienced when there is sufficient intelligence to understand his internal potency, as distinguished from the external potency by which he makes possible the material manifestation. So the living entity should know what is internal, what is external potency, and how Krishna creates, maintains, dissolves the entire cosmic manifestation. This is also pastime for Garbhodaksha Vishnu, just as Ras Leela is a pastime for Krishna. In fact, today is the day, like yesterday when Kartik entered the Purnima, was the day when Krishna performed Ras Leela. But there were few gopis who could not enter that Ras Leela. And it's explained in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam. Like when Krishna called all these gopis to come and meet him at the banks of Yamuna, Krishna was playing on the flute and all the gopis heard their names. So every gopi, she ran towards Krishna. In fact, these gopis, they would meditate upon how I am going to go to Krishna in the middle of the night. And in that meditation wasn't like, okay, sit down and close the door and close your eyes and meditate. While they were taking care of all the household activities, the heart, the mind was towards Krishna. So they would, in their mind, they would think, oh, if I go towards Krishna when he would call me at the middle of the night, there could be thorns on the way, there could be slippery mud, maybe rain has happened and the road must be slippery, or some other obstacles. So what these gopis would do, they would pour oil all over the floor in the house, and they would practice walking swiftly on that smooth floor filled with covered with oil. So if the same situation happens when they're going towards Krishna on the path of dirt which is full of rain and it's very slippery, they should not get delayed in reaching Krishna, where Krishna is. Or if the thorns are there, they would practice walking on thorns or on rocks, pointed rocks, so they won't delay. This was their meditation, because they don't want Krishna to wait. So on this Purnima night, when Krishna was going to perform Ras Leela, he called. So trillions and trillions of gopis are there actually. We will think how can they all fit in the small place of Vrindavan, but Krishna can do anything. So they would run towards Krishna. So they whatever they were doing, whether they were feeding the child, they put the child down, they ran, and whether they were serving their husbands or their in-laws, or they were cooking or they were cleaning the house, they just left everything and ran. But some of the gopis, they could not go because they were locked by their in-laws or the husband inside the house, or they were kept forcibly. So they could not go. But the heart and the mind was with Krishna. So some of the gopis, in fact, left their bodies. And in their spiritual bodies, they went to Krishna. But many gopis could not go. So they cried and cried. And and the Raslila went on, and Krishna danced with all the gopis and with the Radharani in the center. And again, there were more pastimes that we come to 10th canto, we can study those. But these gopis who could not go, it is mentioned that they still needed some more purification. Can we imagine the gopis in Vrindavan? They could meet Krishna, they could hear Krishna's flute, and they could hear their names being called upon by Krishna. And they could, in daytime they could meet Krishna, and there's so many facilities, but still there was some impurity left. So they could not go. To get them more purified, then they heard of this Katyayani Vrata. Katyayani is the Durga, but in spiritual world, she is expansion of Radharani only, internal potency, not the external potency. So they performed Katyayani Vrat for 1 full month. This was their purification process. So 1 full month, early morning, very early morning, Brahmura time, they would wake up and all these gopis, or in fact, Bhagavatam says gopikas, those little gopis. So little gopis, they would get together early morning and they go towards at the banks of Yamuna um, um, at the temple of Katyayani Devi, and then they worship Katyayani together. And the full month they ate only khichdi without even any spices. And then at the end of that month, Krishna appeared and Krishna stole their clothes and he accepted all these gopikas as their wives, and then they were qualified to enter as Vasalila. But the point is, 1 full month they'll perform this tapasya to please Krishna. With Katyayani Devi, they were doing the puja, and together they were asking that Krishna, I should get Krishna as my husband. But another significant point of this Katyayani Vrat is all the gopikas, they together they would go and perform this puja and this tapasya. In fact, if somebody was getting late, they would go to her house. Oh, come, let's go together. So there was not even a tinge of enviousness in their hearts towards each other. Oh, she will get Krishna and I will not get Krishna. And let her sleep today because if she goes with me, maybe she will get Krishna and maybe I'm not that strong. No, they were helping each other. That is spiritual world. That is Vrindavan consciousness. When we help each other to make progress. And every gopika's dream was only one. I should get Krishna as my husband. And everybody knew everybody else's dream. But they were helping each other. So this is a very significant point of Katyayani Vrat. Here, somehow in the purport or in the words, the rasa dance, and Prabhupada also talked about rasa dance, enjoyment with the gopis. So somehow, Krishna's mercy, this topic came. So this is what we have to understand. Vrindavan consciousness means cooperation, taking care of each other, serving each other, helping each other to grow in Krishna consciousness. And then Krishna can have mercy on all of us. And then he can make all of us progress together. So that thing is what we have to develop. Not enviousness, not jealousy. That will not help anybody. So what kind of bhakti we would be doing if we are envious of each other? So we should pray to all these gopikas that they should also give us their mercy and we get rid of this envy from our hearts and we can together we can make progress cooperatively and lovingly taking care of each other and we make progress on the path of bhakti. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. So we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day.